Sup fuckers, world's okayest trader, and today's video is brought to you by coffee. So sat down, saw this uptrend, sort of fitting the lows okay, sort of touching the highs. We had a bit of an overshoot, nothing really fit with that overshoot, so once we had the overshoot, pushed down quite strong, worked its way back up, we got our new high. We have our first entry, second entry. Now, this was at the top of the range, and when this double topped and pushed down, and this sort of hung around here, that's when I drew the range. So we're basically taking a second entry long in at the top of the range. I didn't have the feeling that this was going to hold. Like, I didn't really have a good feel of the market at this point. Guess this could have been a good failure, but it was still above the EMA, but it was a good sort of range top play. So push down, drew this range when it sort of hit these few. It may have been down here a little bit at some point and then moved it up for more touches. There was some news in here. Didn't really do much. I was considering the failed second entry long, but we're in the middle of the range. There's some congestion forming. No real place to go. And I don't think it made the scalp, so probably good to stay out, which is good because it sort of bounced off the midline. So we had a low, first entry, second entry. Now, if I had the range drawn at this point, this would have been a good second entry short at the top of the range, breakout, pullback. So it failed breakout. So it took off and pulled back. Now, would have been nicer if this was a red bar, but what are you going to do? You miss some. Then it pushes down to the bottom of the range. We sort of chop around. Now, in the middle here, I got distracted by the trading, got distracted because I had a day job thing to do. So I didn't actually trade this, but this would have been a good triple test. 1, 2, 3 test, strong bar below the EMA, enough room to the midline for a 4 tick, targeting the upper side of the range. So that would have been a good trade, which I completely missed. And then it rolls over. Initially, I had this downtrend like that, so this was acting as an overshoot, but it just kept pushing down, so it didn't act as an overshoot. We do have this leg working up, and then that broke, so I'm expecting a new high of this uptrend. So you get your new, but it generated a new low before it went off, so now we're looking at the uptrend. And at this point, I was still looking short, but I shouldn't have been because I misread that was a low there because it got the new low. So I shouldn't have been looking short. I should have been looking long, which is kind of indicative of the day today because you'll know that I didn't take any trades. I'm 0 for 0 on the day for trades. I guess mentally that was a win, 1-0. Not really sure if you could call that a win, but not taking stupid trades, not being sucked into stuff that I shouldn't. Like this, like I was thinking short, but something felt wrong. I couldn't tell you what it was. Push up, get a new high. As for this failed breakout, I'd like this to be red or at least a little lower high confirmation. Didn't get it. But we have a high, first entry, and then there's the second entry. First entry long. There's the second entry. So that might have been the better one to take. And then you had your low, first entry, second entry. So this could have been the second entry short, failed second entry short, long up into the top of the range. But this was the trade that was probably the better one. And again, not at my desk. So that's a good ball. Tried once, tried twice. Good bear bars, close solid. That would have been a good entry for the scalp at minimum. And then again, targeting the bottom of the range. If you could do that. Then we had another failed breakout at the bottom. And here I was looking for another higher low confirmation. But we don't sort of bounce off the midline of the range and we drop. So again, draw your channel. looking for a break and a new low, which we got, but there was no entry. That was low. And that was the first entry. I guess, yeah, it was still a first entry. That didn't tick above. Could have been an outside engulfing. But yeah, and again, first entry to a new low. Then we have one push up. And again, here I was still looking at this bottom of this range to act as resistance and still come back down. But we got the break in the new extreme with two solid legs and two clear, distinct legs. That would have been a good one to go short at, but because we pushed up strong, we're kind of in a bearish imbalance of a range. I guess I could talk myself into taking that after the fact, but I just wasn't convinced at the time. Push down, break, looking for a new low down here, and we don't get it. Attempt it, two more legs up. Now, this one here, this would have been a great short if it had been a lower high. The fact that this pushed up beyond there, that scared me off even more. If it had at least matched the highs or formed a little lower, that would have been a good one. And then it just turned into congestion. Eventually, it broke out of this congestion long to form the top of this range. But again, no real good entry. It was slow. These bars were going all over the place. And then in the end of the day, we have this downtrend, good break, and to a new low. But again, first entry, or new low, first entry, that would be your second entry, and it failed. But strong push up, end of the day, like it just really wasn't worth taking anything at that point. You never know, because there's some wacky stuff that happens at close to 4 o'clock, so I don't want to be in that. But what I was doing while some of this market was slow, and what caused some of the distraction, was I was looking at oil, and I'm playing with a strategy here, which is basically look for a big bar, look for a couple of bars on the inside, 2 bars, and then take the break of that bar either way. So in this particular case, you've got a 17 tick risk. And the idea is move to break even after 10 ticks and then follow the bottom of the bars. So there went 10 ticks. So move to break even. After a couple of minutes, start trailing the bars, especially when it was here, because that was either going to break or go higher. So that would have netted you 13 ticks. You could have also taken it here. Yeah, this is the one. Was that it? I think that was the failure out the other side of this one, if you wanted to. Oh, right, because that was one. Again, this is why I am playing with this. But here is one. Another one of those. So that trade was working. And while that trade was working, you could decide whether you wanted to take this one or not. But here was another outside bar. It failed. So your risk would have been 15 ticks. But when it failed, it down to a low, if you held, you would have got, depending on where you took it, VWAP would have been a good target. It even fell below that. So, 33 ticks from that failure. And generally I've seen when these things fail, but again, this is all just still playing around at this point to see what fits, what works, as it is as sort of an augmentation to the trading strategy. So again, here's one outside bar, inside fail. I don't know if this one went 10. What did this one go? Did it go 10? Yeah, it didn't go 10, so you could have been stopped out the other side for minus 13. But then you take the failure, and if you follow the bars, that essentially gets you to break even. But again, this one just sort of took off. You could choose pivots, like how you're going to handle your money management. I don't know at this point, but what was it to the top of this one? Lots. But again, if we're targeting like a small ATR value, then here's one here. larger bar, inside, take the break, follow the bars, gets you, you may have survived that one, which would given you 22 ticks. If you did survive it, depending on how your broker executed, you would have been up at 37 ticks. So I think there's something here for more investigation, and I'll continue to do that. And maybe I'll share updates if you want me to share updates on how this is going. And then, there was one here. Right? So outside bar, inside break, follow it up. What would that have been? About 14 ticks. Not two insides. Here's another one. That one took you to 25 ticks. So, you would have been maybe, lost one, lost two, but you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 winners would have made up for your day. But anyway, that was an oil trade. And let me know if you want me to take more, dig some more into this and share the results. I'm going to continue to do that over the next couple of weeks and see if that's a valid strategy to add into the ES. All right. World's Okayest Trader is out for today.